I withdraw from all the senses and gently go in silence. Remove all the thoughts from the mind and I create the awareness that I am eternal soul. I go beyond everything of this world. All the traces of what happened during day and what is happening in the world. And as I set myself, I want to be with Baba because Baba is the one who is source of all the powers and virtues. Baba is the comforter of heart. It is in silence that I am able to experience the comfort and deep trust in Baba. trust in drama, and trust in my own fortune. When there is trust, one is able to be carefree, free from the past, and also free from the worry of future. So I take drishti from Comforter of Heart, Baba.
Om Shanti. Welcome to Avyakti Parivar.
Om Shanti. Baba is here to give us knowledge, and he adopts us as children, and then as teacher he gives knowledge so that we can become worthy souls. And we also listen to Baba and recognize that Father, as a teacher, is giving us knowledge. Knowledge always makes everyone worthy, increase the capacities. And then the feeling comes that Baba is giving us knowledge for transformation, self transformation. And then Baba says there has to be world transformation. The world from negative, vicious, has to become very pure, happy world, peaceful world. So when we recognize Baba, then we become like, so we're trying to make everyone happy. So many languages, right? So when we recognize our Father and we take knowledge, knowledge is like inheritance. Because the first inheritance we get from Baba is the treasure of knowledge. Because knowledge not only makes us worthy, but knowledge also is source of income. And knowledge, when we apply in our practical life, not only we become pure, but also Baba tells us about our spiritual journey. So he puts us on this pilgrimage of remembrance. And I think each one has to ask oneself, but I definitely felt that, like in Lokik, the relationship of father and children, same is with Baba, God, and we are God's children. And I am Baba's heir child. Hmm. How many of you felt you are Baba's heir children? Hmm? Heir children? Yes. So, what are the feelings one who is heir child? Hmm. It's like belonging, but also master. Hmm. Heir child will always feel that I am master. Master, not in the way of authority, but master as, yes, I belong to Baba. And Baba's all treasures also belong to me. I am the master. So, this experience of being heir and the master is then when Baba says that Baba has come, and Baba gives the name Easy Raja Yoga. These days we use word meditation, we teach meditation, but actually originally we always used to say this is Sahaj Raj Yoga, Easy Raj Yoga. And we could feel it now because when I am master, master is not to rule on others, but my own self. Before, even my own mind was not mine. That's why I would say, oh, I don't want to think this way, but I don't know. That's not what really I would want to think, but I'm thinking, or mind is thinking. So it's like even mind was not mine. It was also, that means it was not in my control or the way I wanted mind to think. So I always say that when Baba comes, first he teaches us how to think, what to think. Just imagine that we didn't even know what to think and how to think. So everything we saw, everything we hear through senses, We take everything in the mind and then keep thinking, keep thinking, keep thinking. I remember the example that if you churn milk, butter will come. But if you keep churning water, what will emerge? Nothing. You will be tired. No. So that was happening to the mind. Lot of thoughts back and forth from the past, from unnecessary. And then we realized that mind is actually, each thought is a seed for every kind of action. When a thought comes, you see things. When a thought comes, you speak, or you have to go anywhere. That means all the senses are operated with the energy of thought. So if thought doesn't have direction, then what will happen to all other senses? And that is where we went many times on wrong path, did actions, but under the influence of some kind of body consciousness or even the vice. But when Baba gives us the recognition of who am I, and then mind also start realizing, and immediately what we find that unnecessary waste thoughts reduce, negative thoughts we are able to change in positive, and we feel that now we are the masters of our own mind. I am the master of my own mind, in which not only what to think, but how long should I be thinking about something? Hmm. I find that as soon as you find that mind just goes in excessive thinking, and now the practice should be just stop, go in silence. And when you go in silence, you become clear, but also there is so much, like Baba says, you are charged. Today, many, many times I had this experience because, okay, you go in silence for a few hours, few days, but if this was such a beautiful way, go to the source, go in silence, and then, of course, when whatever, as much necessary, the quality and quantity of the thoughts. So, this silence actually is where, when Baba says, children, you have to return home. And home is what? Land of silence. So it feels so nice, Today I was thinking that if we can go into this, we start with a moment, but stays that silence inside. And it's just like you put on a recharger, right? You charge it. So not only that, but when I am deeply in silence, now cycle is moving, drama is happening, everything is happening, right? But I am in silence, I am in remembrance. Just imagine how much must be being erased. So many subtle traces. In other words, that could also be called burning or dissolving the impressions of the past karmas. It could be sinful, body conscious, useless. So, this practice of being the master And then from there, your mind and intellect both, right? Intellect always has thirst for information. And that is what we notice even amongst ourselves, right? I say, okay, let's meditate. So I see someone to just write every word, but what about meditation? Because it's same information, I have to use it. I can do it later. So intellect has always this curiosity, but actually, what is needed is also concentration. As much it is necessary, I take through intellect. What is not necessary, I don't. It takes a while. I know that all of us, like if there is a computer engineer or whichever subject one is, you will always would want to know more, right? Of course, it's needed, but also it's more what is next, what more, what new. Mm. My background is journalism, so every time it used to be what's going on in the world, what's happening in the economic field, what is happening, you know, and gradually, I have reduced it to the minimum as much necessary one should know. Otherwise, every story of a person, every story of the world could become part of that information. But then all that also is a very subtle influence which comes. I find in myself that very subtle energy of that information somewhere also is affecting the stage of the soul, the thoughts of the soul, of the mind. So, how do I then now become the master of mind and intellect? Whatever it was yesterday, but today is different. Mm. So, this way you become the master of mind and intellect. Mm. So, when we say easy means what? That is simple. It's just question of understanding and practice. There's nothing difficult or there is no hardship. There is no force. It's very natural. And then when mind and intellect start having that experience of what how it feels, then mind is at rest, intellect is concentrated or with Baba. So there is natural pull. I want to do it again. That is why Baba said experience. Like today I had experience or many times, but I'm sharing of today. Since I wake up about air soul being master, then during day many times just go be a seed, go in silence. It's not whatever I do is happening, but there's a lot happening, in the sense of world drama is moving. So I act whatever I have to act and then I go in silence. And this is what actually what makes you is king, Raj Yoga. That means your ruling power. Because what king has is ruling power, right? But his ruling power, his ability of ruling power is impractical when he's a king, in the sense of it could be both ways, sitting on the throne, wearing crown, having tilak. Mm. So what one does in yoga to claim my status of being the master, being the king. That's what I am doing. What I am doing when I am doing yoga. Mm. So Baba has given us, we talked about 3 thrones. So how you do that in yoga, right? What you do, you sit on your immortal throne, center of forehead, throne for the soul, reminding myself I am immortal. And as much with love I do it, I can also claim Baba's heart throne and then the throne of self sovereignty. It's only when I have sovereignty over my own senses that I can be the sovereign king. So, all 3 thrones mm, I am doing, that's what I am claiming in yoga, Raj Yoga. That means when you do yoga, you become king. We always think of golden age, right? In golden age, I will be prince and I will have throne. But you know, if you don't have practice to sit on the throne, you won't be comfortable. If you do not have practice of wearing crown, you might not want to wear it. So at confluence age is like, before going to golden age, somewhere you have to practice, right? Like actor has to come on the stage. So behind stage or curtain, actor is preparing to come out. So same is for us. It is towards the end of confluence age. Baba wants us to practice. Sit on your mortal throne. Don't very quickly come out. Sit. So tomorrow, Amrit Vela, you try. Baba, in Baba's remembrance, yoga with Baba. But then I have to sit first, no? I sit on the throne. That means I become aware. And then from there, the love which emerges for Baba. And then Baba puts me on his art throne. You can't go and just sit on Baba's art throne. Can you do that? You can't do it. Baba has to put you on his heart throne. It's just like when there is the love emerges of a father or mother. They like to hug us, or it's like putting on the heart throne. So some visualize like there is heart and I'm now sitting on the heart. You can't sit on the heart. You can you? But it's just Baba has this feeling for the child. Child, you are doing good efforts, you are very sincere, you are very honest, you are very obedient. So in that love, Baba takes us on his heart throne. And then because as we are becoming the masters of our senses, sense organs, you really, really feel very good because then you feel as self-sovereigns. Mm. So that is the stone, the throne of stability. Very stable. The throne doesn't shake. Nobody will sit. Mm. So this is how air souls, their masters, becoming worthy as self-sovereigns, so that in golden age you are master. Because one of the important authority which a king has, that everything, because whatever is happening within me is all pure, it's clean, it's honest. So a good king will want everything under, or wherever that king is, that everyone is honest, everyone is truthful. If there is someone who is with you helping in service or in whatever way, and you see there is not honesty, so it will concern you, isn't it? Not only concern, but then you will say, if it has to be under me, under in the sense I am responsible, then I would want everything honest, everything clean, truthful. Recently, I had been thinking that uh, any instrument, whether in family or at center, and something not right is keep happening, whether it could be because of greed or because of attachment, then how can you be a qualified king, right? So, because the governance of the king is based on the principles, and that is Baba's Shrimat. Baba's Shrimat is principles for us, and our way to work, administration, or policies are based on those principles. I sometimes wonder that Baba takes care of us and makes us so honest. When you think of, in this world, there's no trace of honesty, and for us, nothing is mine. Even if there is something mine, I feel no, it's Baba's, no? Because even if I have fortune, it's because of Baba, no? Belonging to Baba brought this fortune. Lot of habits which we had. I know that many very educated, good Baba's children came with so much depth on credit cards. So I thought, well, they are educated, have good job, overspending. If I earn this much, I should buy house this much, or I should buy a car which is this much. So this, I always call credit card as a receiving card, right? It's not your money, but you are already spending, so you have to keep paying interest, keep paying loan, 30 years, 40 years. So just imagine. But when this habit change, we have everything, right? There are so many people They have not only overspending, then investing, which is good in a way, but they invest and they reach to a point they don't know how to make themselves free. Houses, apartments, this, that. And when it's time, they don't want it, they're old or they know that they shouldn't keep all that. So they keep struggling. So, what I'm just saying, there are many, many habits in relationships or making promises not able to fulfill. I have to do this because I promised this one. So there were so many different habits before coming to knowledge. So it's like we have, but we don't have. But after belonging to Baba, the complete change which happens, I'm very fortunate because if I owe even $1 to someone, first I would like to give that. I don't like to owe anything, just free. That means as much we have, we put little saving and then use it for a personal life, for Baba's seva. Mhm. So we have everything. So why can't be honest, right? Accumulation at this time of any kind mhm, will always have concerns and what will happen, where to keep, what to do. Intellect really gets pulled. Mhm. Yeah, we have to be sensible how we spend, how we save, but not accumulate, right? So it's like, how do I feel that I am following Srimad and no one is able to take advantage of uh, because of anything for yagya, from yagya. So I master doesn't mean I can do anything. I master, so I have to be more careful because then what I do, others will do. So how Srimad into principles, then into our policies and our whole governance, very loveful, very peaceful, very honest. And this is where we know that golden aged world is being established. And we are the kings, right? Raj Yoga. You're doing yoga to become kings, emperor, empresses, I would say. Always show the picture of Lakshmi Narayan. That's our aim and object. So whether it is our eyes or hands or feet or every sense organ is in discipline. If I want to use them, I use it. I know where to use, how to use. So practically experience now that it is through yoga you becoming self-sovereign. You feel inside, am I really self-sovereign? Am I a king, my own master? So such children, the air souls, will always look at themselves. I'm Baba's heir. So Baba has given me inheritance of knowledge and he wants us to see using the knowledge, which is the main wealth. If I am becoming very wealthy, wise, in the sense of becoming the masters and taking care of our lives in a beautiful way. So our yoga is not just to sit for an hour. Our yoga is not just have some posture or anything, but becoming king, Raj Yoga. And it's real experience of life, how we keep using Baba's knowledge, and then how much Baba guides us. Yesterday, Baba said, I am with you to guide you. And then we follow Baba's direction, and we are able to reach to our final aim. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Vyakti Parivar! We are all the fortunate children of our one beloved Father, our sweet Baba. That's right! You already know! Today is Shiv Baba Day! So, don't forget to bring Shiv Baba's picture at the angelic dance.
Om Shanti. Welcome to a Vyakti journey. So today is our Monday. Monday is in Hindi Somwar. Somnath is Baba's name. So that's Shiv Baba's day. So welcome to Shiv Baba's day. All relationships with the One. So let's see what Monday Shiv Baba's day has brought to us.
Welcome to Story Time. Since today is Shiv Baba's day, we will be listening to a story from the Murli. There are many stories pertaining to Shiva and his wife Parvati. The following one, which is quite well known, tells how Parvati begins to fall asleep when Shiva is relating to her the story of immortality. Spiritually, the significance of this story is that Shiva, the Supreme Soul, is telling all of us souls who are also Parvatis the story of how to become immortal.
One day, on the top of a mountain, Shiva was telling the story of immortality to Parvati. While Shiva was speaking, Parvati began to fall asleep. When Shiva asked, she explained that she was not actually asleep but had closed her eyes because she was then able to concentrate better on the story. In reality, however, she had been asleep. Nearby there was a pigeon, also listening to the story. While Shiva was speaking, it kept answering, mm-mm, mm-mm, which gave Shiva the impression that Parvati was really listening. When Shiva finished the story, he asked Parvati if she had enjoyed it and asked her to repeat the content. Parvati apologized, saying that she could not do so. Seeing the pigeon, Shiva realized that it was the bird which had been listening and responding to the story. Seeing Shiva's anger, it flew away in effort to escape being punished. Shiva wanted to shoot the pigeon with his arrow, but the pigeon reduced itself in size and flew into the mouth of Vyas's wife, who at the time was drying her hair.
Vyas is mentioned in the Murlis as the writer of many of the scripture stories. The pigeon sat in the stomach of Vyas's wife for 12 years, and during that whole time she was considered to be pregnant.
After 12 years, the pigeon was born as a 12-year-old boy named Sukhdev. As soon as he was born, he started running into the jungle. Vyas, his father, ran after him to stop him. A few women were bathing in the Ganges and Sukhdev ran past them.
Vyas, however, stopped and looked at the woman, who became angry and said to him, "The way you're looking at us is offensive." Vyas said, "You didn't mind the boy looking at you as he ran past. So, why are you getting angry at me?" The woman replied that the boy was so soul-conscious that he hadn't even noticed that they were bathing, whereas he, an old man, was so body-conscious that his way of looking at them was insulting.
So, by listening to knowledge, we enjoy the fruit of it, not only for 12 years, but for 2,500 years in the golden and silver ages.
The second aspect of the story is that the version of those who have heard the story of immortality is totally pure. That is, it is soul-conscious vision, whereas the vision of those who read or write the scriptures is body-conscious. The significance of the story relates to the confluence age, the age in which supersensuous joy and immense happiness are attained. The conclusion is that if we listen to the story of immortality, that is knowledge from our sweet Baba, we can gain immortality, happiness, and purity.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much, Vyakti Balak and team, to bringing us this story of immortality, because we hear this story every day in Murli. Baba is telling us true story of immortality, right? But in Path of Bhakti, this is how the story has been written. And we know the significance of that story, right? We know that Shankar and Shiva is different, but they consider them together as one, and that's why they are confused, but we are not, right? So we now know exactly what does it mean, and Mohini Didi will be sharing a little bit more about that also afterwards. But before that, I would like to invite Avyakti Bala. Please come and let us know our homework for tomorrow. Welcome.
By remembering our Baba's teachings, let's experience the Swaman. I, the soul, am incorporeal, voiceless, and egoless.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much. It's a very nice woman, self respect point. I, the soul, am bodiless, egoless, and voiceless. These are the three words Baba has given us. And now let's hear from Didi. She will explain a little bit more about the story. Om Shanti.
Baba says that many stories are created in path of bhakti. And one is that there is a very, very, on the top of the mountain, is a very big shivling of snow, 9 feet, very high. And that's where Shiva, they show Shankar Shiva, is telling Parvati the story of immortality. And then while listening, she fell asleep. But there were two pigeons. They were listening to the story. And when anyway, this one of the pigeon then entered the womb of a woman and for 12 years stayed there. That's the story says. And then was born with the name Sukhdev, deity one who gives happiness. So Sukhdev also, Baba says in Murli, children, you are Sukhdev. How will that must be real? We know that. Just the memorial. So we all are Sukhdev. We are born through listening to the story of immortality. Amar Katha. Somnath, right? Story of Amarnath. Amarnath. So that's how actually it is in bhakti that we know it in practical. Okay, Om Shanti. Let's remember Baba. Om Shanti. Om Shanti, everyone. Good night. Om Shanti. Good night. Sleep with Baba. Baba's love.
Om Shanti.
Thank you. Thank you, Baba, everyone.
Thank you, Baba.